I've decided that this whole thing is a pedantic exercise in futility. We're gonna quickly summarize all this with one simple look at this. Even in their own freaking line, why is the human cleric so much shorter than the elf? Why? And we're going to prove these are 25 millimeter. Look at this. Look at this. You're telling me these two couldn't hang out together? Keep in mind, this is a hero. Okay. They couldn't hang out together? They couldn't be buddies? This guy's tiny. Here's a 25 millimeter ninja. In an action pose from Citadel. Right. Okay. 25 millimeter. You can't convince me otherwise. The elf is useful because elves can be short. The elf, I have no problem with this elf. I like the elf. I think it'd be fine on the table. It is much taller than the human. Yeah? Human. It towers. I mean, even their own scaling isn't in scale. Well, now, I heard the dwarves were fine. But what's up with this dude? You can see how tiny these are. Look at this! She probably... Let's see. Yep. She works. She is much... Look at the difference in their heads. This model's fine. Again. So we have two good models. These are fine. These two models are perfectly in scale. Here we go. Let's have a look. And really explore the space. See if we can hold this miniature up. All right. There. Oh, look at that. Fits right in. All right. Maybe. Oh yeah, that works. All right. Let's go in here and really explore the space. This is, guys, these are fine. Right? You could see two females, right, hanging out with this dude. I got no problem with either of these models. These models make sense. This guy comes up. He's a big burly barbarian. Like, really big, really burly. Our hobgoblin comes up. He's a fair bit bigger than our little common man and quite a bit bigger than the females, but the females could still kill him because they have really cool weapons and look like they know how to use them. These are all useful minis. All of these are useful minis. This is not a useful mini. This is useless. This is garbage. This is, what am I supposed to do with this? This is useless. Yeah. No value. No usefulness here. None. Now this is supposed to be an intimidating and scary Rakshasa. Now, and I want to show you guys why this is so sad. Look at the hands. They're right. The hands are right. The sculpt is cool. That's a Rakshasa. Yeah? Except it's a baby Rakshasa. Hell, it's not even taller than this gal here. It's much smaller than this man. This is sad. Sad. And what's sad about it is, again, look at these sculpts. Look at this guy. Death Knight McGillicuddy. Death Knight McGillicuddy looks really cool. Until you realize Death Knight McGillicuddy. Death Knight, the big bad Death Knight. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to talk too much smack about him. He's tiny, but I could use him as a skeleton warrior. I cannot use this guy. This illithid is freaking a dud. And you know what? I have an illithid that I just painted that I thought was on the smallish end, but I was like, it's cool because I paid 25 cents for him, you know, and it's a good sculpt, right? Yeah, let me grab that real quick. I remember when I painted this for you guys. You can watch the painting video. I do have a step-by-step instructional video on how to paint your mini just like mine. Okay. So, first of all, there's my illithid next to their Death Knight. You know what? I thought this guy was small. I was wrong. Oh God, was I wrong. What the beep? Now, let's look at that. Let's really explore the space. That sculpt is really cool. That sculpt is really cool. Notice I'm putting this on top of the base. So that we're not cheating here. We're not cheating. Look at that. Let me motorboat you. Now, keep in mind, this illithid is not big by any stretch. And I can show you, I got the official D&D illithids. This guy's a little on the tiny side. Okay. This cost me like, well, it might have been 60 cents. Okay. This, much cooler sculpt. Much cooler sculpt. Look at the detail, right? Look at it. Could these guys even be considered the same creature? Is this a pygmy illithid? Are we a pygmethid? I don't know. And by the way, this was a speed paint. So if you want to learn how to make your illithid look just like this, or where to get that illithid for 60 cents, just watch my video. And look at this flashing. You know, this was a cheap set. Both of these came from the same set, by the way, which, you know, it's a really looking like a great value the more I look at it. But see that they're from the same set. Anyway, these two minis were pennies. They're literally less than $1. I will concede that this mini has better detail, but I'm gonna say this is useless. All right, let me check this halfling out. So, you know what? The halfling's going to be useful. I can tell you already, this halfling's going to be fine. But the halfling doesn't really scale, does it? Because it's quite a bit taller than half of the Death Knight. Right? And yeah. And it's about half of this human right here, which means it's scaled to 28 millimeter or something really close to it. And I'll prove it because I have some halfling type miniatures. Oh, here's a human woman we can use to compare and contrast. All right. Where's my little halflings? Halflings here. Halflings. Oh, halflings. I do have one. It's kind of funky. This is from the World of Warcraft line. And it's a warrior with an axe sawed to it, or tied to his head, and it's kind of cartoony, but she's not that much. She's actually the same height as him if you don't account for the helmet flaring out. And he's a big burly halfling, you know, meant to be. He's a warrior halfling. But it works. You know what doesn't work? Actually, let's just do this. Here's a female witch. Okay. Now she's not supposed to be super tall or anything. She's just a gal on the wall. And this guy's not too bad. I could use him as a, like I said, a skeletal warrior. He's not going to be, or a really short death knight. He's just not imposing. He could have been imposing. He needs about a 30% size increase, 25-30% size increase to really work. Which is better than some of these. I can use him. It's not completely useless. But this, on the other hand, is. Let's put them on squares here. So you can see the difference in scale here. And again, the cultist is bad, but this one is fine. She's a short female. She's like 5'2". But I can make her work. See that? If I put this one next to this one, it looks really goofy. But if I put this one next to this one, right? It doesn't look quite as goofy. The head's bigger, and we're putting her on a base, right? Here, let's put her on the base, so you really see what I'm saying here. All right. Okay. See? Put her on the base, and she is her little sister. She's her shorter cousin. She's a little sawed off, but she works. She fits in, or their heads are about the same size. Short people don't have little baby heads. This thing right here has a baby head. It's a tiny little baby. See the difference in the head? She's wearing a cloak, and her head is tiny. It just don't work, guys. It just doesn't work. The dwarf is cool. Let's get this out. I want to poo-poo all over this, but most of these are completely useless, guys. This is a cool sculpt, great sculpt, love the sculpt. Useless miniature. Can't do nothing with it. Too tiny. They're just too tiny. This dwarf, right? And this will prove it to you. This dwarf dwarfs this out. This dwarf outweighs this out. And not just outweighs it, outweighs him by a lot. Okay. Like, why on earth would you come out with that? The more I look at this, the more angry I get, honestly. There's no way they didn't know this was garbage. And what's bad is the sculpt is good. Look at the details. Look at them popping on my camera. Look at this. They had every opportunity. Look at that. Details in the cloak. I mean, this is a cool model, man. Look at that face. Look at all that detail. This could have been something so cool. Man. And I go back to this ogre, man. This model here does not have great detail. This is a Bones 1 freaking ogre. Might have been Bones 2 or Bones. Actually, I think it was Bones 3. It doesn't matter. It's not amazing. This model has so much more going for it, right? Which ogre do you think is going to get more use on your table? This dwarf's awesome. That's a nice dwarf. I would even say this is better. This dwarf is better. All right. See that? It's not falling apart. It's not brittle. You know, it's fine. This dwarf is better than pretty much anything WizKids has come out with. And WizKids has some decent dwarves. And Reaper, you know, they're up in their game, but they're dwarves. This is a nice dwarf. This dwarf is great. This dwarf is what you want, right? That's a fine dwarf. Oh my god, this is the worst one I've seen yet. What the I swear there's no way this is in the same scale as this. What in the literal... I'm gonna quit looking at these things. Let me show you. See this wraith? Okay, I'm assuming that's a wraith. It could be a specter. Doesn't matter. I'll grab one of each. Here, we'll get this crap out of my face. I'm getting irritated. I really am. I don't understand. I don't understand how this ever came out of the room. The more I look at it, the more I think about it, it hurts my brain. Because this should have been a home run. You had everything right. All right, so here's our wraith. This wraith is fine. I have no problem. Like I said earlier, some of these things I don't really have a problem with. Undead, the skeletons, you know, I don't really have a problem with the skeletons. They don't bother me. They bother other people. I can deal with it, you know, because they're little minions. And that's my main problem with this. Even the useful models are going to be minions. They're not going to be... So, as you guys may or may not know, WizKids runs small. Alright, here's a D&D board game, Wraith. And I have other Wraiths I could pull out, like, say this, what's it, Ghost, Spectre, Wraith, whatever. And this is theirs. It's fine. It's a little small, but who cares, right? It's a freaking undead nasty. Now, is it going to be your premier deluxe showcase one? No. And the reason it won't be is because it's so freaking tiny. But does it fit in? Could it hang out with these guys? Sure. But if it were scaled right, you know, it could really be something, right? But I don't have much of a problem with that miniature. Not nearly like this Illithid. This Illithid really ticks me off. Really, truly. But, no, all is lost, and I'm not going to sit here and... Oh, my goodness. This was the one they were bragging about at the end of the Kickstarter. Look at this. You get a free Viking. Look at me. I'm so nice. Right. Sure you did, buddy. Sure you did. Is it a cool model? Yeah. Is the sculpt fine? Yeah. Is it useful? Not particularly. It might fit in as, like I said, a minion in a Viking pack. But it's not going to be the showcase. Anyway, I'm done. I'm not going to even... I got to make another video because we got the dragon and the Orcus, so we gotta... Alright, anyway, peace out. Find all the collectibles of your dreams while you're awake, and have an amazing day. Bye-bye.